those of you who do or don't know, today marks the official halfway point to Christmas Day. Now, if you know me, you know I am the biggest Christmas fan, and I thought, hey, why not shove on a Christmas jumper and Christmas hat and do some Christmas baking? And for me, even though ginger is an all year round thing, I think that it just symbolises Christmas, and that's why I wanted to do a little ginger cake recipe for you guys so you can prepare yourself for 6 months' time. So I hope you like this recipe. It's actually a take on the Mary Berry, I find that a real mouthful, ginger tray bake recipe, but I have turned it into cupcakes, and I've done this quite a few times and I think they work really well. And yeah, let's get on with this. So for this recipe you'll need a large bowl to mix everything in. You'll need a sieve, a stirrer, a saucepan, and I've actually already put in the golden syrup here and the black treacle. Now in Mary's recipe she says to use just black treacle, but I think the golden syrup makes it a lot sweeter and not as harsh tasting, but that is completely up to you. You'll need 2 eggs, and then here I've just got my spices. So we've got mixed spice, allspice and ginger. The recipe again does tell you to use stem ginger from a jar, but I prefer to use the ground ginger. I just think it's a lot easier, and I think that this gives off a lot more flavour, but that's just a personal preference again. You'll also need for the recipe some margarine. I've used stalk margarine here. You'll need some milk, some light brown sugar, self-raising flour, and then just on top there is my baking powder. I've actually halved Mary's recipe. The reason being is that we're doing cupcakes. Mary's is for a tray bake, which I have to say does work very well as well. So it's completely up to you how you want to do these, whether you want them as cute cupcakes or a tray bake. Earlier you would have seen that the treacle and the golden syrup are actually in a saucepan. The reason for this is that we're actually going to melt this on the hob on a low heat. We're also going to combine our margarine and our sugar into the melted mixture. You could challenge yourself to do it without melting it, but that is again completely up to you. I'm not sure in the Mary recipe whether she melts hers or not. Just think that it speeds up the process and just makes everything easier to work with. I've turned the heat off now, and that's all melted in, and it should end up looking kind of like chocolate sauce. Obviously it isn't chocolate sauce. And also a little side note, I'm sorry if you're on a diet and you're watching this, this is probably the worst thing for you because of all the syrup and the sugar and the butter, but you know, treat yourself, it's Christmas, sort of. I am going to combine all of our ingredients together now. Just going to take the flour and the baking powder and I'm going to sift that through to a larger bowl. I'm going to add in the 3 spices, and then I'm going to add in the cooled down mixture. I beat my eggs as well, so I'm just going to add those into the mixture, and then finally the milk. Now what you'll need to bear in mind is that this is actually a tray bake recipe, so the mixture that you'll be working with isn't quite cupcake consistency, particularly as we melted the ingredients. It's a very runny mix, so just bear that in mind and be careful when you are going to put those into the cupcake cases, if you're going to do them in cupcake cases. I'm just going to mix this all together now. Of course you can use an electric whisk. I prefer to use my hands. Once you've mixed everything together, it's now time to put it into the cupcake cases. I'm going to try it with my trusty scoop, which is just an ice cream scoop with the sliding bit. If you do spill any outside of the cupcake cases, then just be sure to clean that up because you don't want the smell of Christmas to be ruined by burning smells. This made 12 perfect large cases. That was with 1 scoop of the ice cream scoop. I feel like this gadget makes it easier, and although it's such a simple idea, it just makes it easier than putting it in with spoons and fighting with the mixture because, as I said, it's very runny. And then just another cupcake versus tray bake. Obviously Mary has said to put the tray bake in the oven for longer. I've actually preheated my oven to 160 degrees on fan oven. She tells you to cook it for about 40 minutes, but I'm going to go for 20 minutes and then just keep an eye on them because obviously cupcakes are smaller than a tray bake. So yeah, we're just going to chuck those in the oven, and then in the meantime I'm going to clean up the house a little bit of all of the empty bowls, and then I'm going to prepare myself some butter icing. Now I'm not the best with butter icing, so I'm praying that it turns out okay, so fingers crossed. So I've just mixed myself up some butter icing. Unfortunately it went pink. The food colouring didn't take quite as well as I wanted it to, but everyone likes pink, and who's to say that pink isn't the new Christmas colour? Not everything goes right. I also dyed my hands, but it tastes good because I've also added in a little bit of ginger. That makes a nice touch for the topping. So I'm just waiting for the cakes to finish off, and then I'm going to let them cool down, and then we're going to ice them. And also, I'm not going to be doing fancy piping. I'm just going to literally be putting a little bit of icing on top. So the cakes are finally cooled down. I'm going to ice them and then just decorate them with the bits that I've got. I've chosen Christmas trees, snowmen, Father Christmas, and gingerbread man. As I said, I'm not going to be fancy with this. I feel like it looks more authentic and homemade if I just plonk it on with a little spoon. So there we have it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas for the rest of the year. If you do enjoy these videos and you enjoy my other videos, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also give this video a thumbs up and leave me a little comment. Wish me a Merry Christmas. I don't know, do what you want. Now I'm gonna